Hello everyone, today you are going to learn how to create a sign-up form in Bootstrap. My name is Diogo Veigas and watch until the end so you don't miss anything out and have a really good looking website. The first thing that I want to do is updating our login form. I've already clicked here and opened our live server and I want to simply do some technical changes. With that being said, we are going to start with a header called login, and this login would be really good if it were in the middle, in the top of the thing. So we are going to apply the classes. Do you see these classes, the deflex and justify center? It's just that we are going to put. Then it's already in the middle because it's flex and it's content center. After this, just to glow it up a little bit, we may change it in a feature. If we put an half bar or something, we are going to apply some margin at the top of 5. So it will look really centered now. After that, we also want to let our users to go to the sign up. And to do that, what do? We are going to simply enter here, down here, after the submit. Oh yes, and you saw already, I forgot to change. To put this submit larger, we need to put the width 100. So it will occupy the whole width that he can. And with this, we are going to create an anchor, going to the signup.html. And we are also going to put some text, like don't have an account, click here. It will also increase the whole thing because it needed a space, but I don't think that you want it in the left. Since you have the button in the middle, you also want this in the middle. And how you are going to do that? With the flex as well. You are going to apply a class called deflex and a justify content center as well. With this, it is completely centered. After this, we are going to create a new file called signup.html, the one that we just said that we want to send the information to, in here, in the href. We are going to click this, and there we go, we are already in the new page. I'm going to do it a little bit differently from the login, so you can have a little bit more information, a little bit more knowledge. And with this, we are going to start with the sign up here, and we are going to start with the same things as we did before. The title, the card body, and the form, of course. I'm going to put these 3, and we are going to also close them. So we need to close 3 divs. Yeah, the form as well, of course. Now we gotta close some divs. Okay, only one more. There we go, we have already closed everything up. This login is looking pretty ugly because we don't have the link in the script. We don't have the CSS in the JavaScript bundle. So we just copy it from there and paste it here as well. Now we can see already the square and the login, which are both centered. Another thing that we also are going to copy is this div class with the margin bottom of 3. Which is really what we need. Okay, now we are going to start by specifying the camps that we want. In my opinion, the name, the email, and the password and repeat password would match perfectly. And I'm going to copy and paste something that I've made before. Instead of this div with only the margin bottom and 3, we are going to have this, but the form floating as well. What is this? We are going to have the input, and the label has got to be below, after the input, otherwise it is not going to work. The input is going to be type, text, since it's for the name. The class is form control, just the same as the other, and the ID must be floating input, just because we need to have the same ID in the label. So it is going to be floating input in the for and of the label and in the ID of the input. You gotta put a placeholder. It's something that, if you don't have any text, it will simply appear as some reminder. Instead of having this, we could have put the name here. And we are not going to put a name, because if we put a name, when we select like this, you see that it puts blue. It will show the name in blank and it will oversee and it will be ugly. So we just put a blank space, because if you remove it, it will not work. If I remove it, it will be the second form of the thing I want to show you guys. Because if you click in here, the name, the placeholder, the label is going to go up, and when we remove it, it will go down. But if you put a text, it will be there. So it's a really nice change into your sign up form. After this, we are putting the email just as we did before. But there are some changes as well. Since we put the floating ID and the floating input, you see, right? In the label, a for floating input, and in the ID, floating input. We have a placeholder as well, and I removed the area described by, because I didn't find much use in it. After this, we also have the password. The password, it's just basically the same only the placeholder, the ID and the for changed as well. And lastly, you could even copy this and paste down there. We just changed this repeat password. And we also remove this text from the login. Let me go backwards. We have this text that we are not going to share the email with anyone below the email. But since I didn't find it pretty below the email, I've put it below everything and changed the email to information. And also something that you probably want to change in the login to the sign up is going to be the checkbox. Instead of asking to agree with the terms of use, you are going to ask for want to keep logged in, okay, and remove the required so that we can put the email, the password, and we can go without this marked. We can change the text, of course. And now I'm going to copy this as well, this checkbox, and I'm going to the sign up, and below the repeat password, the div of the password, I'm going to put this, and instead of want to keep logged in, agree with terms of use. And we are also going to say that it is required in here. Okay, and there we go. Now it looks pretty much the same. Okay, it's not in the label. We want this in the checkbox. Now that we are already reaching an end, we are going to put a submit. The submit is just the same as the other login. Really exact same. As we click it, it is going to say we need to put a name, we need to put an email, but we need to put the arroba and something after it. You need to put a password, and you need to repeat the password. Yes, it is not currently making the verifications of the password, since is it big enough or is it the same password? We are going to make it in PHP in the later videos. And we gotta agree with the terms. And there we can submit it. But you have still something to do. We are going to lastly put the same thing that we add in the login, that already have an account. But instead of asking if it has an account, we are going to ask if already have an account. If the person already has an account, he can go to the login. Yes, you can get to login HTML. I don't know why. Of course, it's not login, it's index.html, not HTML. Okay, there we go. Now we can click it and we are going to log in. And we can click and it is going to keep going. So, in this video, you learned how to improve a little bit of your login, just to keep it a little bit more concise, because the previous login was just to put in your website and can go on. And you do the rest if you want. Now we are really going to do something pretty. And you also learned about this new floating password, floating input that you can use to simply make it pretty and are different from the login. So if you do really want to have both the same way, you know how to do it. You just need to rename the camps and change a little bit for the fors and the inputs. So in this video, it's everything. Hope you guys enjoyed and see you soon.